My name is Charles Harrell, and I'm with the Veterans History Project. Today is February 12, 2005. I'm here with Mr. Ingraham, asking him about his World War II experience. Mr. Ingraham, for the record, would you state your complete name?
Alan Albert Ingraham.
And your date of birth?
November 27, 25.
And your current address?
150 Exodus Church Road, Montrose, Virginia. Zip code is 22520.
What war did you serve in, sir?
World War II.
And branch of service?
Army. In the infantry.
Can you tell me your rank when you went in?
When I went in, I was PVT, but I made a PFC.
And can you tell me the battles you served in?
In the Ardennes, Rhineland, and Central Europe.
And what battalion were you in?
394th Infantry Battalion, 99th Division, Company L.
Mr. Ingraham, I'd like for you to think back to your first memories of growing up with your parents. Can you tell me their name?
My father's name was Court Allen Ingram, and my mother's was Lena Alma Ingram.
What did they do for a living?
It was, my father was a sharecropper in farming.
Did you, were you the first child?
No, I was, let's see, I was fifth child. They had 6 children.
Were you the baby of the family?
No, next to the baby.
Were they all within about this, not too old from each other?
Not too old, from 1916 to 1928 for the birthdays.
Can you tell me the names of your brothers and sisters?
Walker was the oldest, Myrtle, the one sister, and Howard, another brother, Lewis, a brother, and Charles, a brother. And I was here to Charles.
Can you tell me, well, where were you born again?
Foneswood.
Foneswood in Westmoreland County?
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider your family growing up a very close-knit family?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Can you describe your first memory of your mother and father?
That would be kind of hard to do. But the only thing I remember was that back at the tail end of the Depression, and I know it was a hard time then. People didn't have no money. It been hard to get the food to eat. You just had to raise your own food was the most of it in our family.
Did you
like I say, my father was a sharecropper on the farm.
Did he ever own his own house?
No.
Did you work out in the fields as a young child?
Oh yeah, yes we did.
What do you remember about working in the fields as a young man?
Well, I remember planting corn. The corn and tomatoes was about the main crops then. People raised a little bit of wheat, but not too much. And picking tomatoes, that's a job that lasts all summer long. Day in and day out, of course, he was picking for the canning factories. But I remember picking tomatoes for my daddy and haul them to the factory. You get 3 cents a basket for them. My father got a penny, and the landowner, he got 2 cents. He got a penny for his share, and of course he furnished the seeds, plants, and stuff for the crop. and furnished the land, and of course he got a penny for that, and a penny for himself, and Daddy got a penny. But that wasn't making much money in them days either. But I tell you the truth, I believe people was let off back in there on that. Of course, you didn't have nothing, but you don't have much now either.
Can you remember back during the 30s and your first toy that comes back to your mind that you remember getting or having?
No, I don't have any idea. I know back then we didn't have much.
Can you tell me any entertainment that you did as a child?
You didn't do much. You made your own entertainment back then. A few kids get together, play a little baseball or something like that. About all entertainment you done.
Did you play?
Yeah, oh yeah, we played.
What did you like playing?
I played third base most of the time. I was playing baseball. Of course, in the winter time, you'd sleigh ride and stuff like that.
Did your grandparents live nearby too?
My grandmother did. Both of my grandfathers they did. Boy, I didn't know nothing about neither one of them, but I did know both of my grandmothers. Both of them lived to be in the 90s.
And they lived nearby where you grew up? Can you tell me a time when you visited your grandparents that you remember? Your grandma?
I really can't say I did. One of my grandmothers, my father's mother, of course she lived with us, so we had her all the time. And, we didn't go see the other grandmother too much because she didn't have any way of traveling other than walking or horse and wagon or something like that.
Did your dad buy a car during the Great Depression?
No, he never did have a car, never did learn to drive or nothing.
But you did?
Yeah.
Did you learn to drive before you went in the Army?
No. I learned that from him.
Can you tell me about any pets that you had?
What, now?
Back in the Depression.
I didn't have none then. My brother had, I don't know, 3 or 4 coon dogs for pets. That's all. They really wasn't pets. But that's all we had.
Did you hunt?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we done a lot of hunting. A lot of coon hunting. I still do pretty much deer hunting now.
Did you consider yourself a good shot?
I would say. That anyway. I used to do right much duck hunting, but mostly deer hunting.
Was the stuff you hunted in the Great Depression used to put food on the table?
Yeah, most of it was, yeah. Back in the earlier days, that you did.
What type of gun did you shoot?
It was a single barrel 12 gauge gun.
Where did you get it?
I guess it belonged to my daddy, I guess.
It was just there?
It was just that I used it. So I guess it was his gun I put in.
Did you attend school during the 30s?
A little bit. I went to the 4th grade, and then we dropped out to help my dad to work on the farm.
Do you remember any of your teachers or friends you met at school?
I remember my 3rd grade teacher.
What was her name?
Well, Junior Beasley, up at Oak Grove. And of course my 1st grade teacher was a country school right around the road, just about a half mile. And Miss Lucy Ranger used to taught school out there. And she taught from the 1st grade through the 7th grade. That little two-room schoolhouse.
Do you remember the name of it?
Just Foneswood Elementary School.
How did you get to that school?
Walk. We'd walk about, I don't know, 2.5, 3 miles, something like that.
Was your brothers and sisters going at the same time?
Yeah, all going at the same time. Except the older one, now the oldest one, Walter. I don't think he went to school at all, I don't think. I think he just worked on the farm. And my sister Myrtle, she graduated from high school at Oak Grove. She's the only child that graduated.
Did you make any friends in those years at school before you had to?
Some.
Did you have any friends that you hung out with here near the house?
Not really, because we didn't have nobody living close by. Oh, then you'd have a gathering on weekends or something like that. We'd come around and visit. Like I said, we'd play ball and stuff like that.
Did you all have any black people who lived nearby?
Not really. I reckon the closest ones we had was must have been 5 miles away, I reckon.
Did you associate with any black people?
Oh yeah.
How often would you go into Montrose?
Oh, sure, I don't know. We go to Montrose once a month. It was already. If we went there, we'd have to walk. Cars were such a few and far between then.
Was there any other local village that you went to?
No, indeed. Nothing around close nowhere.
Were you able to handle horses and drive wagons?
Yeah. Done that at an early age. I'd say probably maybe 10, 12 years old. That you worked all of the farm equipment and stuff, you was able to work it.
But there were no motorized equipment?
No. Everything was done by horses.
Can you remember your first job off the farm?
Yeah, I can. That was wheeling sawdust out of a sawmill for 25 cents a day. That was my first job. And that was 10 hours a day. Of course, you take grown people back in, they got, I think, something like 75 cents a dollar a day or something like that. That's all they got.
How old do you think you were when you worked at a sawmill?
I don't know. I may have been 12 years old. Went over that.
You remember the name of that sawmill?
That sawmill belonged to V.L. Battle. And that's the man's farm we was living on. Sharecropping there. He owned the sawmill.
So it wasn't too far away?
No. And you walk to that. Walk through the woods. You'd have a path through the woods where you walk to it and walk back home.
How much supervision did your parents give you when you were 12 years old?
Well, they taught you right from wrong, but they wasn't extremely harsh on you or nothing like that, other than just teaching you right from wrong.
Did they encourage you to go get jobs?
Oh yeah. Because like I say, that there wasn't no money in circulating, and everybody had to work together to make a living.
Did you ever work for not money, but food?
Oh yeah, yes.
Can you recall that?
Well, you take all of that was done on it, pretty much on the same farm. Whatever crop you was raising, you'd do that work, and then if you had any extra time left over, you'd help the other people that was working on the same farm. I mean, you didn't go out to work for nothing.
Did you have any close neighbors that you became friends with?
Not really. You had some that you'd see once in a while. Like I say, most of your neighbors you was meeting was on weekends when the kids would come around to play ball and stuff of that kind. But you didn't have none that come to visit you during the week.
Do you recall any celebrations that you had?
No.
Any special Christmases?
No, all Christmas was about the same thing.
Which was your favorite holiday?
I reckon Christmas was a guess because you'd always get a little candy, a little fruits and stuff like that on Christmas, where you didn't the rest of the year. Of course, now you got Christmas year round now, but you didn't have it back then.
You dropped out when you were in 4th grade.
I was, yeah, 4th grade.
What school did you last attend?
Oak Grove Elementary School.
How far is that away from where
That's
you
about,
were?
I don't know, about 10 miles north of here.
Were you taking a bus there by that time?
Yeah, they had a bus running in.
That would have been somewhere in about 1935 or
Something like that.
36.
I would say, yeah.
When the Great Depression got to its really bad point in 37, was your father any time out of work?
Well, you take, in the winter time, you didn't have no work much to do. Like the summertime work, they'd have all the work they could do, and go to work in the summer, you save up to have stuff for the winter time, so you could get by on.
Did you have electricity in your house?
No.
At any of the houses you lived in?
No, not until on in later years, probably, I don't know when it was.
After the war?
Probably. Yeah, it had been after the war because we didn't have no electricity before I went in service.
When Pearl Harbor was attacked in 1941, you would have been about 14, 15, 16 years old. Do you recall how you heard about Pearl Harbor being attacked?
That was in 41, wasn't it?
December, yes.
December. I really don't know. I was in the CCC's in Civilian Conservation Corps.
How did you get that job?
I went in that and I think I went in let's see, September, October. Went in there in October. Stayed 6 months. Went in October of 41 and come out in April of 42. Spent 6 months in there.
Why did you go there?
Well, to really help make money for the family to live on.
Do you recall the first day that you went into the CCC?
Yeah, well, wasn't much going on the first day. I didn't do much in there the first week. Till you got straightened out and you get on the job and find out who your supervisors was and all that kind of stuff.
Where did you go to join the CCC?
Oh, we had the Westmoreland State Park. That's where the CCs was, and it was building that park over there.
Is that where you spent your entire 6 months?
No, I spent 3 months of it over here at Westmoreland State Park, and then I went up to Prince William, up at next to Quantico. I think it's Prince William State Park. I finished up for 3 months up there.
Had you ever been away from your family for that length of time?
No, that was the first time.
How did it feel?
It wasn't too bad.
Did you know anybody else in the CCC?
Not really, no.
Did you make any friends?
Well, to a certain extent, I guess I made some, but not nobody real close.
Nobody you kept in touch with afterwards?
No, indeed.
Tell me about the work you did with the CCC.
Well, when I was in there, they were doing most of the carpentering work. They were building cabins down here at Westmoreland State Park. And of course, when we went up to Triangle, of course, they were just starting that park up there. But they had 4 or 5 big cabinets going up there when I finished the end of my term.
What type of work actually were you doing personally?
Well, you take down here, I was helping toting lumber and stuff like that for the carpenters, and I helped tote sewer pipes and stuff, running the sewer line. And you take you've been down to Westmoreland State Park, going down that hill. If you go down that hill on the right hand side, there's all them old iron mine rocks stuck up that bank there, about 5 foot tall. Take a pick and chip them things off where it'd be flat on one side and top and bottom, so they'd lay flat when you put them on top of one another. That's what it done down there most of the time. Up top of that hill, chipping them blocks to get them flat.
Did you feel like it gave you any type of new skills working with the
Sure
CCC?
It did. Yes, it did.
Did you use any of those skills later on?
Oh, yeah. Since I've come out of the service, I've worked as a carpenter. In fact, I've built this house. I built this house and built one for my older brother over there. My daughter owns it now, the one in here a while ago. She owns it now, but I built these 2 houses.
Did you have any of your brothers and sisters or brothers go in the CCC also?
No.
It was just you?
Just me was all I had. Older brother, he went in the military service. I think he was in the Air Force branch or something, I think he was. But he never did go overseas. He was just here in the States.
Did your dad ever get any type of relief during the Great Depression?
No, I guess we could have got it, but we made out without it, so we didn't apply for it.
When the war began, did the situation in your house get any better?
I don't know if it did. It may have got, well, I guess in a way it got a little better because I sent part of my pay home.
Your CCC check?
Yeah. So I guess in a way it probably got a little better.
Can you tell me about the living conditions while you were with the CCC camp?
It was good.
How did you sleep?
Of course, when you went in there, of course you got your room and board and clothes and all of that. I don't remember what the pay now was. Something that seemed like to me was $30-some a month. And I used to send half of my pay home.
Where did you sleep while you were with the camps?
It was at a big barracks building. I guess, I don't know, probably 100 people sleep in a big long building. Bunk beds into it.
Did they have times to eat and time to sleep?
Yep. You 3 meals a day. I don't remember what it was. You got up at 6 o'clock, I think it was, and lights was out at 10.
Was there any time that you could take for yourself during those days?
Yeah, well, you had weekends off, Saturdays and Sundays you had off. You'd come home on weekends, stay home. In fact, you could come home at night. I could have come home at night and stayed at home and went back down there the next morning. But I just stayed there in camp. Till the weekend, then I'd come home all weekend.
How about the food?
Food was good. You had good food.
Did you have to help cook it?
No, they had cooks. They had cooks and had some people wait on the table. Or wait partly on the table. You'd go to a cow line to get your main food. But bread and drink and stuff like that was served there. People served it on the table.
Would you consider it very hard work in the camp?
No, it wasn't. Okay.
When you got out of the CCC in March of '42, you were still not more than 17 years old.
No.
Can you describe what you did during those months in World War II before you were drafted?
I guess I was working on the farm, I guess.
You don't remember getting another job?
No. I didn't go back to working at the sawmill, I know that. So I think I just worked on the farm from that time until I went in service.
When your dad sharecropped, did he always sharecrop the same place?
Yeah. You're on the same farm. Yeah.
And were you going to become a sharecropper also?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have more dreams though?
Huh?
Did you have more dreams of what you would like to have been?
Not really. You didn't do too much dreaming back then because you was too much interested in your work, in your job.
Did you have any girlfriends before you went into the service?
No, indeed. No.
Were you very religious?
Yeah, we were at church most time on Sundays. Pretty much so.
What denomination were you?
Baptist.
As the war went through those early stages and you were still on the farm, did you feel any apprehension that the war might come to Virginia?
Not really. No, indeed. I'll tell you the truth, I really didn't think too much about it.
Did you go to the picture theater in Montrose Center?
Yeah, we went there. But you take, of course, in the first time we had to go to Warsaw. You take when the war first started, they didn't even have a theater in Montrose. They had one at Colonial Beach and one at Warsaw.
And you saw the newsreels there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you have any clue of what Hitler was doing?
Not really. You take teenagers back in, they just didn't realize what was going on.
You said you were drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to register for the draft?
Mm-hmm.
What was entailed with that? What did you have to do?
In the world, we just go down here to Montrose to the draft board. Just give them your name and address and how old you was, what kind of work you done, and that was about it.
Do you recall when you had to do that? What age you had to be?
I don't remember whether it was 17 or 18.
Did you know anybody on the draft board?
No, indeed.
Did your dad have any type of connection?
No.
How long was it between the time you registered for the draft and they sent you a notice saying you were drafted?
It wasn't too long. Of course. I was 18 and 27th of November.
And you said you were drafted
and I was
in March.
drafted March the 22nd, so I was just a little over 18 years old.
Did anybody else you know, were they being called up too? About
It was not boy up over here at Columbia Beach, Harold Frost, that he went in the same time I did.
You and Harold.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you have to report to when you were drafted?
We had to go to Richmond to have our exams.
Had you ever been that far away?
No. But I don't remember when that was. But anyway, when we was called up, we went to Fort Meade, Maryland over here.
How'd you get there?
They kept on a bus. Government chartered a bus, rode on in.
When you got off that bus and stood in the parking lot, can you describe what happened?
Nothing, they just come out and line us up and carried us in the building. I believe they carried us in line to get, I don't know, shots of some kind, I guess technical shots and stuff of that kind. That evening, I know we got over there that morning. That evening we got the shots. And then they assigned us to barracks, to where we was to stay. And I remember we stayed there a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. And then they...
Did they make you march around during that week?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But they didn't have no uniform or nothing, but they still made you come out and line up and march around a little bit.
What were you dressed as? Did you have overalls or did you have a suit?
Yeah, no, you just overall. Dungarees or whatever you want to call them.
Did you have a coat and hat too?
Oh, yeah. But they give us a uniform and stuff before we left there. But we stayed there, I guess, a week and a half, something like that. And then they sent us to Fort McCulla, Alabama, is where we took basic training.
Fort McCulla?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about basic training for you?
Well, it's just routine basic training is all I can tell you.
Were you physically fit?
I guess so. I stood in it, stayed in there with them anyway. And, it was mostly target practice on the range and hiking and marching.
Did target practice come easy for you?
Yeah. Come easy for me.
What rifle did you use?
M1.
Did they train you on any other type of...
Yeah, they train you on everything. From shotguns to pistols, bazookas, machine guns. You've done it all.
Did you shoot 50 caliber machine guns too?
I don't think I shot 50. Shot 30s. Light and heavy 34.
Was there any particular weapon that you sort of liked better than the others?
I do better with the M1.
Did you ever jam your thumb in the M1?
Yeah, I did, one time. But one time was enough. You learn to pull through that after that.
Can you tell me what happened that day when you jammed your thumb?
Well, I just put another clip into it and just didn't pull the thumb out in time. But that one time was all. I learned to get that after that.
Was it extremely hot down in Alabama?
Yes, it was. Hot in the daytime, but it was cooler at nighttime. You'd have to sleep with a blanket on you at nighttime. And it would be, I remember a lot of days, it would be 105, 80 degrees down there in the daytime. And the nighttime would be cool enough for you to sleep with a blanket on you.
While you were at McCulla, did you get a chance to go to the local village?
I went into Anniston, Alabama, one weekend. I got a 1 weekend pass. That's all I got while I was there.
What did you do?
Nothing. Went to the swimming pool, went to the movies, and just kind of loafed about a little bit.
Did you get a room?
Yeah, we got a room in a motel.
Did you have a friend with you?
Yeah, and that boy, Frost boy over at the beach.
So you and Harold Frost pretty much hung out together those first
Pretty much
weeks.
friends, yeah.
You stayed at McCulla for only basic training?
I got 17 weeks of it.
When did you have reason to believe you were going to become an infantryman?
Well, you took basic training, of course. We got a 12-day furlough to come home then. So we come home for the 12 days. And then when we went back to Camp Maxy, Texas. And that's where we joined the 99th. That was down there.
Did you have any option of what you could have been with the division?
No, I knew. They was more or less stuck on infantry when I went down there, because they were taking a lot of the soldiers from I guess it was from Louisiana. They were going to college in Louisiana. And of course they was going to be high ranking officials and stuff like that. They didn't have enough people for the infantry, so they done away with that college business, and all of them come to the infantry too. Them people were mad and hot, but of course there was nothing they could do.
Do you remember your sergeant in that first group of men in the 99th?
I was just thinking they wanted to shoot, I can't think of his name now. I know the mess sergeant was Sergeant Klug. He went overseas with us.
Who was your best buddy in the 99th Division?
I would say that Harold Frost. For a short while after we got overseas. But he was in the foxhole one day, and of course over there it was cold then. I think that was as cold as one of they ever had over there. But I know it was snow on the ground, and of course sleeping in a foxhole or into a big hole. You made holes big enough for two people to sleep in. And of course you covered it over top with logs, and then you put dirt on top of that. But one day I was out on an outpost, and I come back, he was gone. And little old sea rats and can, you'd take and cut the tops out of them, fill it up about half full of dirt, pour some gasoline into it and light it, and that's what you kept it warm in that foxhole with. And he had a little hole dug in the bank with that thing, and I think he knocked it over on and burnt one side of his face up. And of course, when I come back, he was gone. And I never did see him no more until after I was discharged. But they sent him on back in the hospitals, and when he healed up, they sent him home. And of course, I never did ask him nothing about what happened, or nothing about it. I seen him several times after I got out. And then it was a guy out on the west coast, Clifford McDaniel. He was a squad sergeant, I think, squad leader. And I kept in contact with him until, I don't know, up until 4 or 5 years ago. He got all armor now. Him and his wife both, I think. But I stayed in contact with him through the years. And I guess probably 10 years ago, he come here to visit. But them two is really honest two close friends that I had.
There at Camp Maxy in Texas, did you, is that where you got officers to be in charge of your companies?
Yeah.
Who was your officer?
I don't have an idea. I know a Captain Peters was a captain
Of Company
Company L.
L?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think much of him?
He was quite nice, yes he was. It was all the officers in charge was nice, as far as I was concerned.
Before you went off overseas, did you feel like there was anybody in your company that ought not to be there?
I don't think so. One day, you take, it's like I said, I took 17 weeks of basic training in Alabama. And you take, I don't think my guards up took about 12 or 14 weeks of training, about 12 weeks of training. But a lot of them only had replacements and stuff like that after you got overseas. I don't think they even had that much training, I don't think.
Did you have a slogan for your division that you remember?
None that I remember. No.
Did you see any entertainment while you were on the bases here before you went across the sea?
I don't remember of any. Could have been, but I don't remember of any.
You must have been in Camp Maxy about the time D-Day happened. Was that what happened?
I was in Camp Maxy from sometime in July.
So D-Day was already had happened.
Yeah. I was trying to think, because I was home on that 12-day furlough, and I left sometime in July going back to Texas. And I was at Camp Maxy from July until, I guess, sometime in September, first part of September.
Did you and your friends talk about the battles in Normandy that were going on?
No, indeed. Didn't nobody talk about the war at all.
And then, after Camp Maxy, you headed to New Jersey?
No, we went to Massachusetts, up to Camp Miles Standish.
How long did you stay there?
I don't know, probably maybe been a couple of weeks at the most, maybe.
And then what happened?
We rode on the boat and went overseas.
What boat did you get on? You recall?
I believe it was the SS Excelsior.
And
Yeah.
Excelsior?
Excelsior is what we went over on. Of course, that was just an old tanker ship made into a transport ship, was all that was.
How did it feel being on such a big ship crossing a huge ocean?
Well, it really didn't bother me too much because I've been used to riding in boats on the water anyway, down here in the river. I had a boat of my own, and I'd done a little bit of fishing before I went in service. Not much. I just began to start a little bit, but I had a boat of my own, and I was used to the water. So that boat of water over there, of course, the thing is, you get out there and you don't see nothing. But we went over in a convoy. I think it was, I don't know, it seemed like Meade was 30-some boats in that convoy when we went over. We was 15 days going on.
Did you never got sick then?
No, I didn't. A lot of them did, but I didn't.
How'd Harold hold up on that?
I think he made all right too. He was used to the water, living over here at Sloan Beach.
Where did you go when you went overseas?
We landed in Glascow, Scotland. My boat did. Some of them landed in England. We landed in Scotland, and then we went into England, I guess for, I don't know, 2 weeks or more, I guess. Might have been a little longer than that. I know one thing, it rained about every day. And then they loaded us on landing crafts, went across the English Channel, and landed at LaHarve, France.
Do you remember the date you landed at
No.
LaHarve? When you landed at LaHarve, did you land at a beach of some sort, or did you just get off the dock?
We got on landing craft, run a show, and the whole front end of it fall out, and you just wade the show.
So you had to go through the water.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't too deep, about knee deep, I guess. With high tide, I think, the old boat went fairly close shore.
Were you prepared to attack when you jumped off that landing craft?
But it wasn't nothing going on there. All of that was over with when we landed there. They were, I don't know, half, 2/3 of the way through Belgium is where they were fighting at then. From there, we went through France and on through Belgium up to the front line.
Did you have to carry anything when you came off that boat?
Other than just your full wheel pack. And then we walked some, you'd ride some, and you walk some up across France and Belgium.
You think you rode more or you walked more?
No, I think we walked more, I think. Seemed like to me we did.
Where did you stay at night during this walk across France?
You just drop down and get your sleeping bag out and crawl into it and sleep.
On the bare ground?
Mm-hmm. Until we got up in Belgium. Now, when we got up in Belgium, that I don't know where it was more houses or where we was closer to town or what it was, but it was more hay barns and houses where I know one time there were 5 or 6 of us, we slept into an old farmhouse, that old man and woman living in there. She invited us in. We slept upstairs that night.
In beds?
No, on the floor in sleeping bags. And we got up next morning, come down. She offered us breakfast. We took a cup of coffee, but we didn't take nothing else because they was like we was over here during the Depression. They didn't have nothing either, see. So we didn't take no breakfast. We did take a cup of coffee, drink that, and went on. But they were nice people.
Did you leave them anything?
I think we did. I think we gave them some money. Of course, at that time we was paid off in Belgian money or European money or whatever.
Were you, did you ever take a liking to anybody that you met over there, any civilians?
Not really. Not really, no. No.
Did you stay at any one place, any one house more than just one night?
No, no. One night at a place, and I don't remember other than just that one house is the only one I remember even staying in. Most time it was just out in the open. Pitch a tent and crawl into it in your sleeping bag, and that was it.
When did your regiment finally make it to the front?
I don't know. It must have been sometime between Thanksgiving I would say probably the last part of November, something like that. Because the Battle of the Bulge started 16th of December. As the old saying goes, that's when all hell broke loose.
So when you were, you had been up online for a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I remember eating 2 cold turkey sandwiches on Thanksgiving Day, and we wouldn't one on the front line then.
Where'd you get the turkey sandwiches?
The government give them to you.
In a chow line?
Mm-hmm. 2 cold turkey sandwiches. But that was all. But that was better than C rations and K rations at that time.
Were you still hanging close to Harrell?
Yeah. It was close to Harrell and that McDaniel boy too. But I know he was there with us when we was eating them cold turkey sandwiches. So it wasn't too long after that before we went up on the front line. Well, you take up on the front line till you had your front line, and then you had the outpost, which was a foxhole out there probably 500 yards in front of the main line of troops. And you'd go down, well, you'd have maybe 2 people go out there and sit in that hole today, 2 go out there tonight, 2 go out there tomorrow, out in front of, in case you seen anything moving or anything like that. But I was out there several times in that foxhole, but never did see nothing moving until, like I say, until at December the 16th. But they had pulled my platoon back off of the front line, moved us back to a rest area, because we had been up there the whole time from the time we got over up until I guess it was January the 15th, maybe been the 14th, I don't know. December 14th or 15th, they pulled us back in the rest area.
How far back from the front line would that be?
I really don't know, but it was back behind the front line is all I know. And I really don't even know who took our place up on the front line.
Not even, was it like miles and miles behind?
No, I'd say maybe
100 yards?
Mile. Might have been a mile, no more than a mile at the most. Probably wouldn't even meant for.
But you had been in OP at least 3 times?
Yeah. And I know we got back in the rest area. Must have been on the 15th. Because we slept in a hotel thing there that beside the railroad track at Buckhole Station.
Buckhole Station?
Buckhole.
Buckhole.
Train station. And I know I slept in I presume it was a hotel thing or something of it. But we slept in that night. And next morning we was in line in chow line to get chow. When the Germans got firing on us, they had set up the kitchen in that little train station. And that was only 16. And I was the fourth guy back in line to get pancakes and hot syrup and eggs. Because you could smell that rum, I can smell it today. But I was full away and I never did get that breakfast. And that was on the morning of the 16th.
So what happened? What did you do?
Well, you take the Germans, they had come in there overnight, some of them had broke through that front line. Who took our place on the front line, like I say, I don't know. But they broke through that front line and they was back at that train station. I know it was I guess you'd call them cattle cars, I guess, sitting on a side track, two of them. And the way they were slotted sides on them. And they had a machine going to set up in one of them cars over there. And that thing fired on us at getting breakfast, because I don't think it killed anybody. But it made them all move in a hurry.
So all of a sudden there was this...
They was that.
They were there.
We didn't know it yet. That probably about 8 o'clock in the morning, I guess it was.
And what did you do? You were like 4 behind, the machine gun opened up. Where did you run?
We went back across that train track. That was sitting up high, built up on a high mound, and of course the train station was too. But as you went back across the track, you went down the hill to where that hotel was. And of course that's where all our equipment was at that hotel.
So you were in line without any equipment?
That's right. So we got our equipment, went upside the railroad track, and went in the woods up there.
Had you fired your weapon yet?
No, hadn't fired nothing then. I don't think, as far as I remember, we never did. The bunch that I was with never did fire nothing, I don't think. But some of them said the artillery opened fire on them cattle cars and blowed them up, but from what I hear, the mess sergeant stuck a bazooka around the corner of that train station and he blowed both of them clear off the tracks. And that's what happened to the machine guns, but we didn't have nothing no more after that. But we stayed out in them woods all day that day and shoot for the next 4 days and 5 nights, or 5 days and 4 nights, something. That's when they had that push in that Battle of the Bows. Of course, they pushed it back with. Over there, then the terrain was just up and down, and you'd fall back from one hill to the next, dig a hole. A lot of times you'd get a hole, foxhole half dug, you'd pull out and go back to the next one. But 4 days and 5 nights, they had us on the run there. But
now, do you remember the first time you did shoot your weapon in anger?
All I know, it would have been some of them times when we were moving back from one hill to the next, you'd fire some shots and fire a few shots and take off. But the thing was, we were running low on ammunition then. Because while we was up on the front lines, they took part of our ammunition away from us and said they needed to further on down the front line. They were running short and didn't have no ammunition. So they took ammunition away from us, sent it down the line, and of course we didn't have too much. But you take in the 4 days and 5 nights, they didn't shove us back but 10 miles, so we weren't moving too fast.
Did you ever see any Germans that you shot at?
Oh yeah, I see some I shot at. Most of what shooting I done the day I was captured. That was on that patrol.
One moment. My name is Charles Harrell, and I'm with the Veterans History Project. Today is February 12th, 2005. I'm here with Mr. Ingraham, asking him about his World War II experience. Mr. Ingram, for the record, would you state your complete name?
Alan Albert Ingraham.
And your date of birth?
November 27, 25.
And your current address?
150 Epsom Church Road, Montrose, Virginia. Zip code is 22520.
What war did you serve in, sir?
World War II.
And branch of service?
Army. In the infantry.
Can you tell me your rank when you went in?
When I went in, I was PVT, but I made a PFC.
And can you tell me the battles you served in?
In the Ardennes, Rhineland, and Central Europe.
And what battalion were you in?
394th Infantry Battalion, 99th Division, Company L.
Mr. Ingraham, I'd like for you to think back to your first memories of growing up with your parents. Can you tell me their name?
My father's name was Cort Allen Ingram, and my mother's was Lena Alma Ingram.
What did they do for a living?
It was, my father was a sharecropper in farming.
Did you, were you the first child?
No, I was, let's see, I was fifth child. They had 6 children.
Were you the baby of the family?
No, next to the baby.
Were they all within about this, not too old from each other?
Not too old, run from 1916 to 1928 were the birthdays.
Can you tell me the names of your brothers and sisters?
Walter was the oldest, Myrtle, the one sister, and Howard, another brother, Lewis, a brother, and Charles, a brother. And I was head of Charles.
Can you tell me, well, where were you born again?
Foneswood.
Foneswood in Westmoreland County?
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider your family growing up a very close-knit family?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Can you describe your first memory of your mother and father?
That would be kind of hard to do. But the only thing I remember was back at the tail end of the Depression. And I know it was a hard time then. People didn't have no money. It didn't hard to get the food to eat. You just had to raise your own food was the most of it in our family.
Did you?
Like I say, my father was a sharecropper on the farm.
Did he ever own his own house?
No.
Did you work out in the fields as a young child?
Oh yeah, yes I did.
What do you remember about working in the fields as a young man?
Oh, I remember planting corn. The corn and tomatoes was about the main crops then. People raised a little bit of wheat, but not too much. And picking tomatoes, that's a job that lasts all summer long. Day in and day out, because you was picking for the canning factories. But I remember picking tomatoes for my daddy and haul them to the factory, and you get 3 cents a basket for them. My father got a penny, and the landowner, he got 2 cents. He got a penny for his share, and of course he furnished the seed, plants and stuff for the crop, and furnished the land, and of course he got a penny for that, and a penny for himself, and my daddy got a penny. But that wasn't making much money in them days either. But I tell you the truth, I believe people was let off back in there on there. Of course, you didn't have nothing, but you don't have much now either.
Can you remember back during the 30s and your first toy that comes back to your mind that you remember getting or having?
No, I don't have any idea. I know back then we didn't have much.
Can you tell me any entertainment that you did as a child?
You didn't do much. You made your own entertainment back then. A few kids get together and play a little baseball or something like that. It's about all entertainment you done.
Did you play?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we played.
What did you like playing?
I played third base most of the time. But playing baseball. Of course, in the winter time, you'd sleigh ride and stuff like that.
Did your grandparents live nearby too?
My grandmother did. Both of my grandfathers they did. Boy, I didn't know nothing about neither one of them, but I did know both of my grandmothers. Both of them lived to be in the 90s.
And they lived nearby where you grew up? Can you tell me a time when you visited your grandparents that you remember? Your grandma?
I really can't say I did. One of my grandmothers, my father's mother, of course, she lived with us, so we had her all the time. And we didn't go see the other grandmother too much because we didn't have any way of traveling other than walking or horse and wagon or something like that.
Did your dad buy a car during the Great Depression?
No, he never did have a car, never did learn to drive or nothing.
But you did?
Yeah.
Did you learn to drive before you went in the Army?
No. I learned that from him.
Can you tell me about any pets that you had?
What, now?
Back in the
then?
Depression.
I didn't have none then. My brother had, 3 or 4 coon dogs for pets. That's all. They really wasn't pets. But that's all we had.
Did you hunt?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we done a lot of hunting. A lot of coon hunting. I still do pretty much deer hunting now.
Did you consider yourself a good shot?
I would say. Fair anyway. I used to do right much duck hunting, but mostly deer hunting.
Was the stuff you hunted in the Great Depression used to put food on the table?
Yeah, most of it was, yeah. Back in the earlier days, as you did.
What type of gun did you shoot?
It was a single barrel 12 gauge gun.
Where did you get it?
I guess it belonged to my daddy, I guess.
It was just there?
It was just that I used it. So I guess it was his gun I was in.
Did you attend school during the 30s?
A little bit. I went to the 4th grade and then we dropped out to help my daddy work on the farm.
You remember any of your teachers or friends you met at school?
I remember my 3rd grade teacher.
What was her name?
Junior Beasley, up at Oak Grove. And of course my 1st grade teacher was a country school right around the road, just about a half mile. And Miss Lucy Ranger used to taught school out there. And she taught from the 1st grade through the 7th grade. They had a little 2-room schoolhouse.
Do you remember the name of it?
Just Foneswood Elementary School.
How did you get to that school?
Walk. We'd walk about I don't know, 2.5, 3 miles, something like that.
Was your brothers and sisters going at the same
Yeah,
time?
all going at the same time. Except the older one, now the oldest one, Walter. I don't think he went to school at all, I don't think. I think he just worked on the farm. And my sister Myrtle, she graduated from high school at Oak Grove. She's the only child that graduated.
Did you make any friends in those years at school before you had to?
Some.
Did you have any friends that you hung out with here near the house?
Not really, because we didn't have nobody living close by. Oh, then you'd have a gathering on weekends or something like that. We'd come around and visit. Like I said, and play ball and stuff like that.
Did you all have any black people who lived nearby?
Not really. I reckon the closest ones we had was, must have been 5 miles away, I reckon.
Did you associate with any black people?
Oh, yeah.
How often would you go into Montrose?
Oh, God, I don't know. Wouldn't go to Montrose once a month. It was on rain. If we went there, we'd have to walk. Cars were such a few and far between then.
Was there any other local village that you went to?
No, indeed. Nothing around close nowhere.
Were you able to handle horses and drive wagons?
Yeah. Done that at an early age. I'd say probably maybe 10, 12 years old. That you worked all of the farm equipment and stuff, you was able to work it.
But there were no motorized equipment?
No. Everything was done by horses.
Can you remember your first job off the farm?
Yeah, I can. That was wheeling sawdust out of sawmill for 25 cents a day. That was my first job. And that was 10 hours a day. Of course, you take grown people back in, they got, I think, something like 75 cents, $1 a day or something like that. That's all they got.
How old do you think you were when you worked at a sawmill?
I don't know, I may have been 12 years old. Went over that.
You remember the name of that sawmill?
That sawmill belonged to B.L. Battle. And that's a man's farm we was living on, sharecropping with. He owned the sawmill.
So it wasn't too far away?
No. And you walk to that. Walk through the woods, you'd have a path through the woods where you walk to it and walk back home.
How much supervision did your parents give you when you were 12 years old?
Well, they taught you right from wrong, but they wasn't extremely harsh on you or nothing like that, other than just teaching you right from wrong.
Did they encourage you to go get jobs?
Oh, yeah. Just like I say, that there wasn't no money in circulating, and everybody had to work together to make a living.
Did you ever work for not money, but food?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Can you recall that?
Well, you take all of that was done on it, pretty much on the same farm. whatever crop you was raising, you'd do that work, and then if you had any extra time left over, you'd help the other people that was working on the same farm. I mean, you didn't go out to work for nothing.
Did you have any close neighbors that you became friends with?
Not really. You had some that you'd see once in a while. Like I say, most of your neighbors you was meeting was on weekends when the kids would come around to play ball and stuff of that kind. But you didn't have none that come to visit you during the week.
Do you recall any celebrations that you had?
No.
Any special Christmases?
No, I knew all Christmas was about the same thing.
Which was your favorite holiday?
I reckon Christmas was, I guess, because you'd always get a little candy, a little fruits and stuff like that on Christmas, where you didn't the rest of the year. Of course, now you got Christmas year round now, but you didn't have it back then.
You dropped out when you were in 4th grade.
I was, yeah, 4th grade.
What school did you last attend?
Oak Grove Elementary School.
How far is that away from where
That's
you were living?
about, I don't know, about 10 miles north of here.
Were you taking a bus there by that time?
Yeah, they had a bus running in.
That would have been somewhere in about 1935 or
Something like that.
36.
I would say, yeah.
When the Great Depression got to its really bad point in 37, was your father any time out of work?
Well, in the winter time, you didn't have no work much to do. But as far as summertime work, they'd have all the work they could do, and supposed to work in the summer to save up to have stuff for the winter time so you could get by on.
Did you have electricity in your house?
No.
At any of the houses you lived in?
No, not until on in later years, probably, I don't know when it was.
After the war?
Probably. Yeah, it had been after the war because we didn't have no electricity before I went in service.
When Pearl Harbor was attacked in 1941, you would have been about 14, 15, 16 years old. Do you recall how you heard about Pearl Harbor being attacked?
That was what? That was in 41, wasn't it?
December, yes.
December. I really don't know. I was in the CCC's in Civilian Conservation Corps.
How did you get that job?
I went in that and I think I went in let's see, September, October. Went in there in October. Stayed 6 months. Went in October of 41 and come out in April of 42. Spent 6 months in there.
Why did you go there?
Well, to really help make money for the family to live on.
Do you recall the first day that you went into the CCC?
Yeah, well, wasn't much going on the first day. I didn't do much in that the first week. Till you got straightened out and you get on the job and find out who your supervisors was and all that kind of stuff.
Where did you go to join the CCC?
Oh, we had the Westmoreland State Park. That's where the CCs was in. They was building that park over there.
Is that where you spent your entire 6 months?
No, I spent 3 months of it over here at Westmoreland State Park, and then I went up to Prince William, up at next to Quantico. I think it's Prince William State Park. I finished up for 3 months up there.
Had you ever been away from your family for that length of time?
No, that was the first time.
How did it feel?
It wasn't too bad.
Did you know anybody else in the CCC?
Not really, no indeed.
Did you make any friends?
Well, to a certain extent, I guess I made some, but not nobody real close.
Nobody you kept in touch with
No
afterwards?
indeed, no indeed.
Tell me about the work you did with the CCC.
Well, when I was in there, they were doing mostly carpentering work. They was building cabins down here at Westmoreland State Park. And of course, when we went up to Triangle, of course, they were just starting that park up there. But they had 4 or 5 big cabins going up there when I finished the end of my term.
What type of work actually were you doing personally?
Well, you take down here, I was helping toting lumber and stuff like that for the carpenters, and I helped tote sewer pipes and stuff, running the sewer lines. And you take, I don't know if you've been down to Westmoreland State Park, going down that hill. If you go down that hill on the right-hand side, there's all them old iron mine rocks stuck up that bank there about 5 foot tall. Take a pick and chip them things off where it'd be flat on one side and top and bottom so they'd lay flat when you put them on top of one another. That's what I've done down there most of the time. It's up top of that hill, chipping in blocks to get them flat.
Did you feel like it gave you any type of new skills working with the
Sure
CCC?
it did. Yes, it did.
Did you use any of those skills later on?
Oh, yeah. Since I've come out of the service, I've worked as a carpenter. In fact, I built this house. I built this house and built one for my older brother over there. My daughter owns it now, the one in here a while ago. She owns it now, but I built these 2 houses.
Did you have any of your brothers and sisters or brothers go in the CCC also?
No.
It was just you.
Just me was all I had. Older brother, he went in the military service. I think he was in the Air Force branch or something. I think he was. But he never did go overseas. He was just here in the States.
Did your dad ever get any type of relief during the Great Depression?
No, indeed. I guess we could have got it, I guess, but we made out without it, so we didn't apply for it.
When the war began, did the situation in your house get any better?
I don't know if it did. It may have got, well, I guess in a way it got a little better because I sent part of my pay home.
Your CCC check.
Yeah. So I guess in a way it probably got a little better.
Can you tell me about the living conditions while you were with the CCC camp?
It was good.
How did you sleep?
Of course, when you went in there, of course you got your room and board and clothes and all of that. I don't remember what the pay now was. Something that seemed like to me was $30-some a month. And I used to send half of my pay home.
Where did you sleep while you were with the camps?
It was at a big barracks building. I guess, I don't know, probably 100 people sleep in a big long building. Bunk beds into it.
Did they have times to eat and time to sleep?
Yep. You 3 meals a day. I don't remember what it was. You got up at 6 o'clock, I think it was, and lights was out at 10.
Was there any time that you could take for yourself during those days?
Yeah, well, you had weekends off, Saturdays and Sundays you had off. You'd come home on weekends, stay home. In fact, you could come home at night. I could have come home at night and stayed at home and went back down there the next morning. But I just stayed there in camp till the weekend, then I'd come home all weekend.
How about the food?
Food was good. Had good food.
Did you have to help cook it?
No, they had cooks. They had cooks and had some people wait on the table, or wait partly on the table. You'd go to a chow line to get your main food. But bread and drink and stuff like that was served. They had people serve it on the table.
Would you consider it very hard work in the camp?
No, it wasn't. No day.
When you got out of the CCC in March of '42, you were still not more than 17 years old.
No.
Can you describe what you did during those months in World War II before you were drafted?
I guess I was working on the farm, I guess.
You don't remember getting another job?
No. I didn't go back to working at the sawmill, I know that. But I think I just worked on the farm from that time until I went in service.
When your dad sharecropped, did he always sharecrop the same place?
Yeah. Yeah, on the same farm. Yeah.
And were you going to become a sharecropper also?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have more dreams though?
Huh?
Did you have more dreams of what you would like to have been?
Not really. You didn't do too much dreaming back then because you was too much interested in your work, in your job.
Did you have any girlfriends before you went into the service?
No, indeed. No.
Were you very religious?
Yeah, we were at church most time on Sundays. Pretty much so.
What denomination were you?
Baptist.
As the war went through those early stages and you were still on the farm, did you feel any apprehension that the war might come to Virginia?
Not really. No, I didn't. I'll tell you the truth, I really didn't think too much about it.
Did you go to the picture theater in Montrose Center?
Yeah, we went there. But you take, of course, during the first time, we had to go to Warsaw. You take when the war first started, they didn't even have a theater in Montrose. They had one at Colonial Beach and one at Warsaw.
And you saw the newsreels there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you have any clue of what Hitler was doing?
Not really. You take teenagers back in, they just didn't realize what was going on.
You said you were drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to register for the draft?
Mm-hmm.
What was entailed with that? What did you have to do?
Thing in the world, we just go down here to Montrose to the draft board. Just give them your name and address and how old you was, what kind of work you done, and that was about it.
Do you recall when you had to do that? What age you had to be?
I don't remember whether it was 17 or 18.
Did you know anybody on the draft board?
No, indeed.
Did your dad have any type of connection?
No.
How long was it between the time you registered for the draft and they sent you a notice saying you were drafted?
It wasn't too long. Of course. I was 18 and 27th November.
And you said you were drafted
And I was
in March.
drafted March the 22nd, so I was just a little over 18 years old.
Did anybody else you know, were they being called up too? About
It was
Green?
not boy up over here at Colony Beach, Harold Frost, that went in, he went in the same time I did.
You and Harold.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you have to report to when you were drafted?
We we had to go to Richmond to have our exams.
Had you ever been that far away?
No. But I don't remember when that was. But anyway, when we was called up, we went to Fort Meade, Maryland over here.
How'd you get there?
They came us on a bus. Government chartered a bus, rode on in.
When you got off that bus and stood in the parking lot, can you describe what happened?
You know, they just come out and line us up and carried us in the building. I believe they carried us in line to get, I don't know, shots of some kind, I guess technical shots and stuff of that kind. That evening, I know we got over there that morning. That evening we got the shots. And then they assigned us to barracks, to where we was to stay. And I remember we stayed there a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. And then they...
Did they make you march around during that week?
Oh yeah, yeah. But they didn't have no uniform or nothing, but they still made you come out and line up and march around a little bit.
What were you dressed as? Did you have overalls or did you have a suit?
Yeah, no, they just overall. Dungarees or whatever you want to call them.
Did you have a coat and hat too?
Oh yeah. But they give us a uniform and stuff before we left there. But we stayed there, I guess, a week and a half, something like that, and then they sent us to Fort McCulla, Alabama, is where we took basic training.
Fort McCulla?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about basic training for you?
Well, it's just routine basic training is all I can tell you.
Were you physically fit?
I guess so. I stood in it, stayed in there with them anyway. And, it was mostly target practicing on the range and hiking and marching.
Did target practice come easy for you?
Yeah, come easy for me.
What rifle did you use?
M1.
Did they train you on any other type of...
Yeah, they train you on everything, from shotguns to pistols, bazookas, machine guns. You done it all.
Did you shoot 50 caliber machine guns too?
I don't think I shot 50. Shot the 30s, light and heavy 34.
Was there any particular weapon that you sort of liked better than the others?
I do better with the M1.
Did you ever jam your thumb in the M1?
Yeah, I did, one time. But one time was enough. You learn to pull through that after that.
Can you tell me what happened that day when you jammed your thumb?
Well, I just put another clip into it and just didn't pull the thumb out in time. But that one time was all. I learned to get that after that.
Was it extremely hot down in Alabama?
Yes, it was. Hot in the daytime, but it was cool at nighttime. You'd have to sleep with a blanket on you at nighttime. And it would be, I remember a lot of days, it would be 105, 80 shades down there in the daytime. And the nighttime would be cool enough for you to sleep with a blanket on you.
While you were at McCulla, did you get a chance to go to the local village?
I went into Anniston, Alabama, one weekend. I got a 1 weekend pass, is all I got while I was there.
What did you do?
Nothing. Went to the swimming pool, went to the movies, and just kind of loafed about a little bit.
Did you get a room?
Yeah, we got a room in a motel.
Did you have a friend with you?
Yeah, and that boy, Frost boy from over at the beach.
So you and Harold Frost pretty much hung out together those first
Pretty much friends, yeah.
You stayed at McCulla for only basic training?
I did all 17 weeks of it.
When did you have reason to believe you were going to become an infantryman?
Well, you took basic training, of course. We got a 12-day furlough to come home then. So we come home for the 12 days. And then when we went back to Camp Maxy, Texas. And that's where we got back at that train station. I know it was I guess you'd call them cattle cars, I guess, sitting on a side track, two of them. And the way they were slotted sides on them. And they had a machine gun set up in one of them cars over there. And that thing fired on us at getting breakfast, because I don't think it killed anybody. But it made them all move in a hurry.
So all of a sudden there was this...
They was there.
They were there.
And we didn't know it yet. At probably about 8 o'clock in the morning, I guess it was.
And what did you do? You were like 4 behind, the machine gun opened up. Where'd you run?
We went back across that train track. That was sitting up high, built up on a high mound, and of course the train station was too. But as you went back across the track, you went down the hill to where that hotel was. And of course that's where all our equipment was at that hotel.
So you were in line without any equipment?
That's right. So we got our equipment, went upside the railroad track, and went in the woods up there.
Had you fired your weapon yet?
No, hadn't fired nothing then. I don't think, as far as I remember, we never did. The bunch that I was with never did fire nothing, I don't think. But some of them said the artillery opened fire on them cattle cars and blowed them up, but from what I heard, the mess sergeant stuck a bazooka around the corner of that train station and he blowed both of them clear off the tracks. And that's what happened to the machine guns, because we didn't have nothing no more after that. But we stayed out in them woods all day that day and shoot for the next 4 days and 5 nights, or 5 days and 4 nights, something. That's when they had that push in that Battle of the Bows. Of course, they'd push it back with. Over there, then the terrain was just up and down, and you'd fall back from one hill to the next, dig a hole. A lot of times you'd get a hole, foxhole half dug, you'd pull out and go back to the next one. But 4 days and 5 nights, they had us on the run there. But
now, do you remember the first time you did shoot your weapon in anger?
all I know, it would have been some of them times when we were moving back from one hill to the next, you'd fire some shots and fire a few shots and take off. But the thing was, we were running low on ammunition then. Because while we was up on the front lines, they took part of our ammunition away from us. And said they need to further on down the front line. They were running short and didn't have no ammunition. So they took ammunition away from us, sent it down the line, and of course we didn't have too much. But you take in the 4 days and 5 nights, they didn't shove us back but 10 miles, so we weren't moving too fast.
Did you ever see any Germans that you shot at?
Oh yeah, I see someone shot at her. Most of what shooting I done the day I was captured. That was on that patrol.
One moment. Your company was being pushed back from hill to hill to hill.
That's right.
And you said you were low on ammunition, but you were still firing.
Oh yeah, we only fired when we had to. We were saving what ammunition we could save. And,
did you hit any Germans for sure?
I presume I hit some there. I couldn't swear to it. I know I hit some on that patrol that we was on, which that was the 16th of January.
Yeah, but before that, you couldn't be sure.
No, I couldn't, no indeed. But they backed us up 10 miles, of course they never did break through us. But on the 4th day, or the 5th day, we come up over this right high hill. And of course that was up on that Ardennse Ridge, they called it. You know, when we got up on top of that, down the hill behind us, that was all this artillery was set up down there, just a long line of it.
Our artillery?
Our artillery. When we got up on top of that hill, they started a barrage with them big guns. And of course, that was as far as we ever run. That was on that Ardennse Ridge. Ardennse. But I never seen so much artillery in my life. It was stuck over that hill.
Do you think the artillery is what saved the American forces?
Oh yeah. But see, that's when they caught all them Germans in that rear pocket. Of course, when they shoved us back, then the outfits on each side, he closed in behind the German outfit. That's what they caught all them Germans in that pocket. Of course, I think they took the ammunition away from us, so we couldn't fight. We'd have to back up. I think that was something that was planned long before it ever come off.
Did you have any idea that Bastogne was surrounded?
No, it didn't. No.
Was there a time during the Battle of the Bulge where you realized that you were no longer going to retreat anymore and you were going to instead attack?
No, I didn't. I didn't know it until after we went up over that hill and all that artillery started shooting. Of course, we felt a little better then, but the Germans was figuring on making that big push, I see, and break through that line. And they was figuring on pushing through to that seaport.
Antwerp.
And of course, that was the only seaport left along the coast over there. And I guess they figured if they could get that, cut off the supplies coming in, see, why then they'd have things made, but they didn't quite make it there.
How many wounded and killed did your company have during that rush backwards?
I don't know, but it was right many. I know. Through that section, it was right many of them. Everything got confused. Some of them got lost.
Did you ever see any of the ones who got lost again?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Can you tell me when you saw your first dead man?
I want to say it was at that Buckhole station, because it was 3 or 4 Germans coming down that railroad track that morning. But anyway, some of the boys that did have the rifles with them went down that railroad track to them boys. Of course, them Germans was dressed in American uniforms too, where they had captured somebody or killed somebody and got the clothes or whatever. But anyway, somebody found out they was Germans instead of American, and they opened fire on them. And I know they killed 2 or 3 down that railroad track. That is so the other guy blew the boxcars up. But I'd say that was probably the first one that I seen.
At Buckhold Station, you didn't shoot your rifle?
No, I didn't.
But you did shoot it while you were retreating to the woods?
Oh yeah,
From
yeah,
hill to hill.
you do that.
When the new year came, where were you then?
We was up on that Ardennse Ridge. We'd been up there, I don't know, a week or more, I guess.
Had you seen any active German tanks?
Seen Germans down in the edge of the woods. You could see them down in the daytime. They're walking about. They take a pot shot at you up on that hill once in a while. Of course, I guess we were 1,000 yards away from them, I guess. We were up on the hill, with open field down through the bottom. Started up the next hill before where the woods started. And you could see them walking about down there in the daytime. But artillery would open up on them every once in a while down there. And of course, they open up artillery on us sitting up on top of that hill too. But I don't think neither side was doing too much damage in, but they wasn't making no push. And then, I don't know, about January 14th. Anyway, it was a couple of days. They got to where you didn't see no Germans down in them woods. Didn't see any at all. So the officials figured they had them pulled out, say. And on January the 16th, that's when they sent that patrol down there. It was, I think it was 45 of us in that patrol. Of course, we had, I think it was 2 machine gun squads. And I don't know what all, but I know it was supposed to have been 45 of us. But we were supposed to go down there and, if we could, capture some Germans to find out what was really going on. And we were supposed to go in under cover of darkness. Artillery was supposed to lay smoke shells for us to come back out on. But we went in the woods, we went nearly to the top of the hill before we found any Germans. And of course, that's all, they just moved from the edge of the woods back up the hill.
And that was about 1,000 yards in front of the other ridge.
And I don't know how many Dublin boys, but I know one thing, there was a pile of them. Must have been, of course, like I say, 145 of us to start with. I think we had captured 2 or 3 prisoners. And 2 of the guys had carried them back. And I don't know. We was outnumbered 5 or 6 to 1, I guess. Probably more than that.
Is that when you knew you killed somebody?
Yeah, that's when we was doing our shooting then. But we got back to the edge of the woods, but the smoke screen never did come. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know what of course, I don't blame nobody for it because you don't know what went on. Radio man could have got killed. The radio could have been not working. But anyway, we didn't get in the smoke screen, so.
When you were in those woods, did you go from tree to tree shooting as you were retiring back to the edge?
Try to find a big tree to get behind.
Was it a run to get back?
Don't you just moving about there. But you take out the 45 that went in and moved that morning. I don't think there was more about 4 or 5 of them left alive. The rest of them got killed. me and that boy out on the west coast,
Clifford?
Clifford. He got machine gun through muscle part of his leg. I seen him in a German hospital, I don't know, about 2 or 3 days after that. I mean, I got hit in the arm, right there. Of course, the bullet stopped me and I went to a pine tree that big before it went in my arm. Of course, the German doctors, they cut it from there out, pulled the bullet out. And that McDaniel, he was in there, and both of his legs, yes, must have been swelled up that big. But I think the Germans sent him on back to the front line.
You mean back to our
front line? Mm-hmm.
Tell me about this troll.
Such a bad shape.
You said you came across the ridge and you found out that the Germans had just pulled back from the edge of the forest to the top of the ridge, and you were outnumbered. What did your officers tell you to do?
Well, they everything just come back to the edge of the woods, waiting for the smoke screen to come, so we could go back up across that field, up that hill, back to our lines.
But you had already been spotted.
Oh yeah, we were already spotted then, because when we got up near the top of the hill, see, they start firing on us. And of course, with all the firepower they had up there, there's nothing else to do but to back up.
Were you being hit by artillery also?
Not right at that, not to start out with. Artillery got coming in there when we got back to the edge of the woods.
Machine guns?
Yeah. And,
tanks? Were there any tanks involved?
I didn't see nothing. I guess it was artillery, I guess.
So you were on the edge of the woods, waiting for the smoke screen. There were only a few of you left?
That's all. Well, of course, I guess most of us, when we first got back to the edge of the woods, but most of them got killed at the edge of the woods.
And that's where you were hit?
That's where I was hit. That's where I was captured, right there.
Did you ever find out if any of them got back across the field?
No more than them 2 or 3 that brought them 3 or 4 prisoners back was all.
So a whole 45?
They went back, see, when we first went in the edge of the woods. And of course they was back from across there, out the way when the Germans did get down to the edge of the woods.
So you got hit in the arm, and did that put you out of action?
Pretty much so.
Were you laying on the ground?
Thing was, I didn't have no ammunition left either, see.
Okay.
That was the trouble. Because on something like that, you don't load yourself down with it, so you can move about a little bit.
What were you wearing when you went on that patrol?
We didn't care nothing whether it had 2 or 3 hand grenades, 2 or 3 clips of ammunition was all we had. And of course, it didn't take long to get rid of that.
You mentioned that you got hit in the arm after the bullet went through a tree. When you got hit, did you fall?
I was already down, laying flat on the ground when I got hit. Which most of them was. You didn't have nobody standing up. It was all down. But like I said, with so many of the Germans, that you didn't have much of a chance. In fact, you didn't have no chance of getting out of that.
And then you got hit by artillery?
Yeah, a shell busted up in the top of a tree. Piece of shrapnel hit me through the butt.
And you were also shot through the pants?
I had 5 bullet holes through the seat of my pants, and never got a scratch with every one of them.
But it was
other than that piece of artillery shell.
Could you feel it being hit?
No, indeed. Of course, you wouldn't think about one thing, and that was surviving.
Was there a lot of blood?
quite a bit of it.
So you were captured there on the edge of the woods. What did the Germans do?
They took us back up the top of that hill. Of course, we was walking. They put us on a wagon. And I don't know, we must rode for an hour more, I guess.
And you were still bleeding.
Yeah, well, it wasn't bleeding too much in. I tied a handkerchief around my arm because I didn't even know I was hitting it, but I didn't even know that. And I tied a handkerchief around my arm, and we went on, and that's all we got until late that evening. We got to some kind of first aid station or something. Anyway, it was something other dug and built in the side of a hill. Of course, about everything was on the ground. And that's where the man cut that bullet out of my arm. And he just, what he done, he sprayed a little something on it and then took a scalpel and cut a swat through that arm and took faucet and pulled that bullet out. Old armored piercing bullet, you couldn't even tell it had a scratch on it. And then they bandaged it up. And we stayed in I don't know what the name of the church was, but we stayed in a church that night. Slept on the floor. Thing had to put a stained glass windows in there as I ever seen in my life. Church, I guess the ceiling in there must have been 30 feet tall, but it was a huge church. We stayed there that night. Next day they put us on trucks and carried us to a train station.
Was it the same train station you were at before?
No, that was another one. I don't even know what train station it was, but they put us on a train, and then 2 or 3 days later we got into Dresden. Took us off the train and walked us to the prison camp.
During that time in the Ardennes, was it cold? How did the cold affect you?
It didn't bother me too much because the thing is, you take here, it's cold here in the wintertime too. And I was more or less kind of used to it because I was used to working out in the cold, and some of them was talking about it was so cold, but it didn't seem to bother me, although it was cold. You take the morning we went on that patrol, it must have been 1.5 to 2 foot of snow on the ground there.
But you kept your feet dry?
No, it didn't. Because I didn't have anything to work with old combat boots. Some few had overshoes, but most of them didn't.
Did the Germans, when they captured you, did anybody speak English?
Yeah, the ones back in that hospital spoke just as good English as I could. And you take the interrogators, they speak good English. Of course, they knew more about the outfit than what I did. They knew where we trained it, how long we trained it, when we broke camp, when we left, come overseas, where we landed at, and all that stuff. They knew all of that.
What were they trying to have you say?
All they asked me was, where we trained it at, and when we left the station, where we landed at over there. That was roughly all they asked me. Because like I said, they knew more than I knew about it anyway.
Did they, I don't want to use the word torture here, but did they torture you of any?
No, indeed. No, indeed.
Were you treated well by it?
Treated well as far as I'm concerned. Other than you didn't get a whole lot to eat, but the thing was, they didn't have no whole lot to eat either.
When you got to Dresden, you mentioned about walking to the camp?
I guess the camp was, I don't know, it seemed like to me it was something about 3 or 4 miles from Dresden.
Was it cold there?
Not really, because inside the camp, of course they had these big long barracks built, about like the CC barracks down here. I guess it would hold 100 people or more. And they had a wood stove in each end of them barracks, kept fire into it all night. So, I mean, you didn't, it wasn't all that hot, but it was warm enough so it wasn't all that cold either.
Did you see any horribly wounded soldiers being forced to march to the camp?
Not really, no, I didn't.
Did your wound ever fester up or get
No,
infected?
No. Well, when I got into prison camp, I stayed in the infirmary. They called it that for, I don't know, I guess for a couple of weeks. And everything had pretty well healed up when they left me out of there. You take one time, I think they were going to put some of us to work in a factory. Because they took us from camp, I don't know, it must have been probably 25 or 30 of us, and carried us up to Leipzig.
Leipzig?
Leipzig, that's about 30, 40 miles south of Berlin. And we was into a hotel down on the corner of the street. And I don't know, I guess we stayed there for a week, probably. But anyway, after we was there for 2 or 3 nights, you could look out the window and down the street to our left, I guess probably 2 or 3 blocks down. There was all these big smokestacks. You could see them up in the eye. I guess must have been 100 feet tall, I guess. And we presumed that was some kind of a factory. And you take, I don't know, after we'd been there 2 or 3 nights, anyway, I think it was the British bombed that place. And anyway, next morning, all them smokestacks was gone. You couldn't see neither one at all. And 2 or 3 days after that, they carried us back to the same camp where we left from. And we figured that's what they was going to do, was going to carry us up there, put us working in that factory. Of course, I mean, didn't nobody tell us so. We just presumed that was what was going on.
Did any of the guards at the camp speak English?
Not too many of them, I don't think.
Did you talk to any of them?
Well, through an interpreter. You take it was a lot of the American people could speak German, so you take that was the kind of people you had in charge of the rest of them things.
And how long did you stay at Stalag 4B?
For 4 months, 120 days I was prisoner of war.
What happened?
We was liberated by the Russians.
Do you remember that day?
Yeah, I do, but I don't remember what day it was. It was sometime in May.
Can you describe the event?
Well, you take that morning when we woke up. Of course, all the Germans pulled out overnight. Of course, we didn't know it, but we didn't have no guards or nothing over the next morning. Of course, we didn't know it, but I don't know. Probably 10 o'clock, something like that. A Russian Cavalry
Horses?
come across this field. Of course, we were sitting up in the middle of a big field. I don't know, it must have been 200 or 300 acres in that field, I guess. But anyway, the camp was sitting up in the middle of it. And then the cavalry come out of the woods that morning, riding horses, man. And they come over, and of course all the Germans was gone. Some of the boys towed the fence down and they took off to Dresden. Of course I did not stay down in camp with them. But I guess the Russians kept us under control there for certainly 2 weeks, maybe 3. Before they turned us over to the American authorities.
Did the food improve when the Russians were there?
Not too much. They kept getting about the same thing.
Did you have to wake up in the morning for roll call at that prison camp?
Yeah.
Did they have to line up somewhere?
Get out the barracks, get outside and line up. They call your name off and you answer.
Were you assigned to any particular barracks?
No, indeed. Well, yes, we was too. Yeah, we was.
And a
Certain
specific
bed,
certain bed and everything? Mm-hmm. Did they search your barracks for any type of weapons there?
Occasionally they would come in and search. Yes, they would.
In that camp, while you were there, was anything, was there any atrocities done?
No.
Nobody killed?
If it was, it would have been the Russian side of the camp. Of course, the camp was cut half in two. You had Russians on one side, and you had Americans, British, and whatever on the other side. But then you had a lot of them Russian people. I think they starved to death over there too. But see, they didn't have no. Of course, after I got in prison camp, but I guess it's probably 2 weeks after I got there. Then I started getting. We started getting parcels through the Red Cross, and you'd be a box about that square, about that tall, and it would be filled with 2 layers of canned goods, stuff, cigarettes, stuff of that sort. And you'd get a box of that would be divided between 2 people, and you'd get a box of it every 2 weeks. So it was what we was getting otherwise, and that along with it, it stayed in fairly good shape. But the Russians didn't get nothing through. They didn't get nothing through. They didn't have any agreement through Geneva, Switzerland, and that kind of stuff to get any Red Cross packages. All they got was what the Germans gave them. So yes, there was a lot of them. I guess starved to death over on that side.
Did you ever see any prison guards beat anybody?
No, I never did.
Was there ever any public executions?
Not that I know of. No.
Well, you were free. The Russians had come. They had taken a camp.
Yep.
And 2 weeks later, you were sent to the American lines.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get to the American lines?
You take when we left the camp, they hauled most of us in trucks from the camp to back into a town there. And I don't know what it was, I know it was some kind of big place. We stayed in it, I guess, for a week. But we were under American control then.
About how many prisoners do you think were in the entire camp?
I don't know. It was a pile of them.
Thousands and thousands?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Do you remember any of the Russians?
No, indeed. No, indeed. I don't remember.
How about the first American you saw outside of being a prisoner?
I have no idea either of that.
Where did they send you after they got under American control?
They sent us back in that town for, I guess, for a week. And then they carried us to the airport. I believe it was Reims, Germany. But I think it was Reims, Germany. They loaded us on the C-47 transport planes and flew us to Halle, France. And they carried us to Camp Lucky Strike, they called it.
Camp Lucky Strike?
Mm-hmm. And we was out, I guess, we stayed there, did I rain for 3 weeks. And then they carried us into LaHarve, France, and loaded us on the boat to come home.
You remember when you got on the boat, what day it was?
No, I don't.
But it was in the summer.
Yeah, sometime, I guess probably sometime last May, maybe sometime in June. I just don't remember.
You remember the name of the boat that you took coming home?
SS Explorer.
Were all the prisoners staying together at this time?
Pretty much so, yeah.
And where in the U.S. did you land?
We landed down here in Newport News.
Had you lost any weight during your imprisonment?
Quite a bit. I guess I certainly weighed 160 pounds. I'll say when I was captured. I may have weighed more than that, I don't know. But about three and a half weeks after that, I was down to 97 pounds. So I lost the weight that fast.
But you didn't really do much work.
No, indeed.
And you felt like you were getting enough food?
Yeah, I would say, like I say, we was getting, I guess, as good as they could give us, because like I say, they didn't have nothing.
Do you think the blood that you lost during your wound might have accounted for something?
Yeah, it could have accounted for some of the weight I lost. But what weight I lost, it didn't seem to bother me any.
Did you gain it back?
Yeah. Back. Well, before I went in service, I weighed about 145 to 50 pounds. I weighed the day before yesterday on the scale in that, and I'm still at 145 pounds. Same size clothes. I wear the same size clothes now as I did when I first went in service at 18 years old. I wear the same size clothes. And I can eat anything I want. It doesn't bother me a bit in the world.
When you got to Newport News, what did they do?
We stayed down at Fort Henry, I believe is the place we stayed at. Stayed there for about a week. And then I come home on a rehabilitation furlough. 79 days I was home. That's what they call it, rehabilitation furlough. And then after that, when that time was up, we went down to Miami, right down Miami Beach, Florida. I stayed down there for a month and a half. Of course, it's still rehabilitation. I didn't do nothing. And stayed down there a month and a half.
And when you were on rehabilitation furlough, did you come back here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was back here for 79 days. I stayed home. And then, like I say, when I went back to Miami, Florida, I guess I must have been still on the furlough, because I didn't do nothing down there either. You'd have a meeting here and there, but you'd have a car come pick you up and carry you to the meeting, carry you back to the hotel, and that's all you done. That was a month and a half. Now I come up to Fort McPherson, Georgia. And I was assigned to the MPs there. But I stayed there about a month and a half there. And then that's where I got discharged from. But I got discharged on the point system. I think you could get out with 80 points, and I had 81. So I said, I'm going home.
When you were over in Germany, did you have any clue about the Jewish problem?
No, indeed. Never heard nothing about that going on at all.
Did you ever see any of the really bad SS soldiers?
No, can't say it did. Not really. Most the only thing I seen was in that Ardennse forest. That's about the only thing I see pretty well seen. Of course, while I was over there, I didn't get to go in no towns or nothing like that.
When you got back home, did your parents give you a welcoming home party?
Oh yeah, yeah. But that's all. We didn't have no. You don't have no parades and stuff like they have now when the soldiers coming back home. In other words, you take them soldiers, come back home and put everything behind them and went on to work. You didn't hear nothing out of them.
Did you ever keep in touch with your family here at home?
Oh yeah.
How did you do that?
Writing letters.
Did you get any letters while you were in service?
Yeah, write letters too.
Did you save any of those?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now all I got is what letters I wrote that was coming home. But yeah, I wrote 2 or 3 letters while I was in prison camp. They let us write, I think it was once a month. They let you write a letter.
Did they make it here to home?
One did. I got one here that come home. One is all I got.
Did you keep any type of diary while you were in service?
No, indeed.
Can you recall something funny that happened while you were in service? The most funny thing that happened?
I don't know of anything.
When you finally...
I know the most appreciated thing that happened was when we was down in Texas. I and Harold Frost got a weekend pass. We went into Paris, Texas, and we stayed in a motel room. And that was run by a mother and her daughter. And that daughter baked us a going away cake that weekend and give it to us. Which I thought was right nice of them doing that. Well, they didn't know us from Adam.
Did the Germans ever do anything that you thought was kind?
Other than just being nice to us. You take the German soldiers over there, I don't think they thought a bit more of that war than what we will. They, all I ever seen was nice to anybody.
When you were wounded and then captured, they didn't drag you around or kick you or anything?
No, indeed. No, sir. Of course, now that's not to say that maybe they did to some people, I don't know. But they didn't, not to where I seen anybody doing nothing like that.
Did you ever take a prisoner yourself?
No.
But you knew you shot and killed people.
I was trying my best.
How did it feel? I know you may not have too much time to think about it.
you really don't even think about it. Once you go through that 17 weeks of basic training, and of course that's what they're doing, they learning you to kill or be killed. And you get over that, it just comes natural, that's all.
And you only used the one weapon, the M1?
That's all.
Did you ever throw grenades in combat?
No. I throwed them in basic training, but I never threw them in combat. Just the old M1 rifle is all I ever used.
Can you tell me the first job you got when you came back home and you were discharged?
I just really right offhand, I don't. But it was probably working as a helper on a tractor trailer truck. I was nagging with the first job.
What were you doing with that?
Hauling lumber from sawmills down here to Baltimore. Get a load of lumber up to Baltimore and take it off, and you come back through Washington, through Alexander, pick up a load of fertilizer and bring it back to the farms down here.
You had mentioned you got through 4th grade. Did you learn how to read well enough to read things?
I think I'm doing fairly good.
Did you?
What education I had.
Did you use the GI Bill to get any more
No,
skills? Did you join any veterans organizations after the war?
I belonged to the Disabled American Veterans and the Veterans of Foreign War. I belonged to both of them.
Did you have lots of meetings that you were very active in?
I ain't even never been to naval. Since I joined up, I ain't been to naval. Of course, they don't have none around here. Not around here close. But I do pay my dues and keep up with it.
How did your experience in the war affect your feelings about war?
I don't think it's bothered me any at all, I don't think.
During the war, were you a smoker?
Yes. I reckon I smoked for 50 years, I guess.
Did you find that the cigarettes helped you deal with combat?
I think so. I certainly think so. But I don't know. I quit smoking, I guess, 10 years ago, something like that.
Did your experiences in the military give you some type of skill of any type that you used later on?
I don't think so.
What did you...
Other than just maybe being a good marksmanship with a rifle or shotgun or something like that. I think it probably, out here hunting and stuff like that, it probably learn you something.
What did you become after the war? What was your ultimate career?
I tell you the truth, I think most of it was commercial fishing. I've tried several different jobs, and I always go back to the commercial fishing. Like I say, I've done farm work, I've done carpenter work, I've done plumbing, electrician, all of that kind of stuff. But in between, I go back to fishing all the time.
And your time in the service really didn't help you be a better any of those things. What is your idea about war today when we're fighting over in Iraq?
I just don't know. It's an awful thing to be killing all them people over there, but thing is, to my idea, if you hadn't done something, it would be a whole lot worse than what it is now, to my idea.
Is there anything else you'd like to say that people can remember your experience as a soldier?
Nothing that I know of.
Well, thank you very much for your interview today, and many people remember your story.
You said well.